Hello humans, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, we shape and polish opal using a dremel, and we post weekly. If that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing. Today we're going to be working on this beautiful but hidden gem. This is a piece of Ethiopian opal, and you can see that there's like a good bands of color in there, but it's got this texture all around it, so we can't quite see how good the color is going to be in there, but I'm sure it's going to be great. When we shine a flashlight through it, it's super clean, guys. There's only a little bit of dirt on one part, and it doesn't look like it goes in very deep. I think our biggest struggle this time is going to be the bumpiness of it. When we weigh it out, it is 3.51 carats, so if you guys want to see how this opal gets shaped and polished and turned into a cabochon, keep on watching. Is I'm going to try to make this a round cab, and I can't, quite see which side is the better side to face it. I kind of got it wet and it didn't really show much to me, so I guess once we start slicing on it we'll be able to see, but I am going to try to make this part the face because I think we'll get the biggest stone that way. So I started off by flattening out the back and trying to get that, get the bumps down and get it nice and even. Normally I would start with the edges, but with this piece I really wanted to get the back first to make sure that that I knew how much I wanted to go in on the edges, and then I went and took down the sharper points around the sides, kind of took those squared out edges and rounded them out, got the bumps down, and as you can see I'm dipping in water here regularly. When you see my hand go off screen, I'm just dipping it in some water. And yeah, once I got the sides nice and flat and even, I'll take the stone, I'll run the sides in one direction, and then I'll flip it around and run the sides in the other direction to get the sides to be more even and flat. And once I was done with that, I started shaping the face, working from the edges inwards. Sometimes I'll flatten out the very face of it first to kind of get some peaks down if there's a lot of peaks going on, but this one, most of the peaking kind of happened around where the sides were, so I started with that and worked my way inward, kind of rounding out the edges as I am carving away some of the face. And it looked like at this point that the side that I marked with the X had just as good of color as the other side. I still wasn't noticing like a whole lot of difference, so this one might be the kind of stone that faces either way, But once I was done with shaping, I went to my Nova points, which the black and the brown Nova points always give you a bit of shaping, but with the stone as small as this, you really got to be careful, especially if you have like a good shape off of the diamond sintered bit, which I did. So I was really just careful to just get the sides more even, kind of get all the scratches off, and then move on because because I was very pleased with the shape already. So to shape it more gently, I will just press it onto the bit more gentle than I normally would with other stones that I want to get more shaping out of the Nova points. I'm going to just press a little harder. If you don't want that, just press a little gentler. I know it seems pretty self-explanatory, but I do feel like I wanted to explain that a little bit, that you just want to gently kiss the stone to the Nova point, and then just check it out and make sure that your scratches are gone. And once the scratches are gone, you just stop, you move on to the next one, and you're good to go. Sometimes you could have a perfectly polished stone and there's like little bumpies on it still, and it's real easy on the brown Nova point, if you've already moved on to the brown Nova point, to just press on that bumpier spot to get rid of it and get that nice ovular cabochon smooth transition that we're wanting. I will say though that no matter what bit you're using, or if you're using like a cab machine with the wheels, you really shouldn't be pushing too hard no matter what kind of opal you're working on, because if you press too hard, it's gonna make it crack. So you really do want to be rather gentle overall, but sometimes you can be a little bit firmer with it. If you're using like one of the slicing bits, like that you've seen me use in past videos, you should really be the most gentle using those, because like you could crack and craze the whole stone when you're slicing it into pieces, and then you don't get those two nice pieces that you wanted. You get like one piece that works out, and then the other piece that's just only really good for something like resin work. Also, as you could see there, sometimes with the bits in the Dremel, the piece will slide inwards or outwards, so you really should be keeping an eye on that. Sometimes, if you're not careful, the bit can fly out and possibly injure you or your pet. So just be careful about if you see that it's starting to slip and slide, stop, tighten it, and then continue. Sometimes they'll just loosen themselves because of the vibrations, but usually for me it's because I didn't fasten it tight enough in the beginning, and I need to pay more attention to that. So this is what the stone looks like after the nova points when it's full of water. And as you can see, this one does have a little bit of flash. It is showing off a little bit of flash, which is cool. When we weigh it out when it's full of the water, it's 1.27 carats. And then this is what it looks like when the flashes all come back. And you can see it has like a little bit of webbing, but it's mostly like kind of a wavy pattern. And it definitely needs the polish, but it does have just as good of color on both sides. Pretty pleased with this shape. And moving on to the polishing bits, you always just want to check and make sure that in between every bit that it is scratch free for the most part. So each polishing paste is going to give you a little bit of tiny scratches, but you can get away with skipping a few of the polishing pastes if you feel like it, and you can just go harder on the polishing pastes that you have. So sometimes I'll run out of one kind of polishing paste and I'll need to just move on to the next one, and that's okay as long as you have the last couple of grits. You should be able to get a good polish on it. So when you're going out of your way to select a set of lapidary pastes, keep in mind that some lapidary pastes have the diamond pieces suspended in oil, and some of them will have it suspended in wax. So I took a look at my polishing pastes when I found out about this, and they are indeed wax based. And with Ethiopian opal, you really want to use waxed base lapidary paste, because the oil from the paste will absorb into the stone, and you can get oil out of the stone. You just gotta soak in acetone for a little bit. But definitely just keep an eye out, make sure that you're using a wax-based version so that you don't have any complications with that. Nobody likes to have to deal with the stone re-drying out again, because when you soak the stone in acetone, you do have to wait for it to go through the white stage again and back to the original state again, which can be tedious. And that's another reason why I'm not using a dopping stick here, because the last stone that I dopped broke, and I think it was because of the dopping. So we've got a finished product here, guys. Seemed to work out pretty well, and the finished weight is 1.17 carats. So we did lose 2.34 carats, but it is standard to lose about 2/3 of a stone when you're cutting it, even when it's super clean. So I see this as a huge success. The shape is awesome. It's really just a great oval, and this kind of wavy pattern is really fantastic. It's a lot like pinfire in that it catches light from all the different angles. But yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like a mossy pattern, right? Or like a floral pattern. Either way, it's super gorgeous. It's real nice semi-crystal, and I couldn't be more pleased with the result. Alright, and it's finally time to bust out the shaping staff again. As you guys can see, I got a new sphere for it. This one is labradorite, and we're going to be gluing this ovular tab on it. It should be 7x5, and it is for this video that reached 1,000 views. So thank you guys, and I'm going to be using this Gorilla Glue to glue it on because I find that it keeps the stones on really sturdy. So if you're new to my channel, when I have a video that reaches 1,000 views, I like to glue a opal on my staff here. And this glue takes 2 hours to set fully, but it sets to a crystal clear rubber-like finish, so that is always cool. But yeah, this is what the stone looks like on there once it's hardened on there. It's a little bit of a pinfire, and then the rest of the staff, and I can't wait to glue another one on here. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. Like this video if you haven't liked it already. If you have anything to say, please leave a comment down below. If you have a friend to share this with that friend. That'd be really cool. And I'll see you guys next time that I make a video. Later.